All right, peace, family. We should be live right now on YouTube. I know a lot of y'all are waiting for this show. Let me make sure I got this going right. Let me see, make sure the chat room is working. I know people gonna want to be live. How's the chat? Okay, we got people filling in the chat room. That's good, that's good. Trey Haru, Stephanie, Base Rock Express, Kimberly, what's up? All right, we're not gonna waste too much time. We're gonna get into it. I want to give Doc all the time he needs. But as usual, Brother Rich has to shout out a couple of amazing businesses that I need y'all to support at this time. Let me get to them real quick, family.
How do we find you? My wife says that some people can't seem to get in.
Black Magic 363.
Yeah, we're there, but nothing is on the screen but the previous events.
Maybe it might take a minute.
Yeah, people are calling for that.
I'm shutting off my, what do you call it? Yeah, everybody's saying that they're not getting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's strange.
We'll try again. Maybe it takes a minute.
Yeah.
Is this lighting all right?
Yeah, you're good to go, Doc. And you're gonna have the pictures on most of the time anyway.
Good.
You're definitely good to go. All right, family. Let me give shout out to Parindra Rajadeep with the follicle stimulating growth. Make sure y'all holler at them if y'all want some help or if y'all have any questions about that. The number's on the screen. Of course, King Simon, the absolute best, him and Lord Strayhorn when it comes to numerology. Definitely, I want everybody to holler at this brother to find out exactly what's going on right now. 347-496-1022. Shout out to Lisa Brown, Comedic Yoga Mats and more. Yoga is very important in this time that everybody's under stress, everybody's dealing with anxiety. It's important. Stillness is important. Breathing is important. So, and you want to look fly while you do what you do. That's what we do. We always look fly, whatever we do. So get yourself a yoga mat. Shout out to Happy. They got a wonderful documentary about the drop. Go to their website, happyfilm.com. Also, Smartawi is doing online yoga certification classes. You can holler at these gentlemen. You can text them or email them for more information. And that enough of that. And let's get to the show. But before, what's going on in the chat room? Let me see what's going on in the chat real quick, Doc.
No problem.
Oh man, the chat room's packed already, Doc. 700 people in 2 minutes, man. They want to see what Doc, man. They want to. They waiting, man.
Okay.
They waiting. They want to see what you got to say.
Whenever we're ready.
Go ahead, my brother. The floor is yours, my brother.
All right. Let me just bring up the. So let me know if everything is 5x5 when I open this up. How's that?
I can't see it now, Doc. I don't see anything.
Okay, hang on. Let me make sure I get in the right thing. I have to learn how to do this. Return to meeting and share. I got to do that. Clip this and share. Okay, how are we doing now?
Okay, we good to go. We good to go, my brother.
Looking good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome, everyone. I know this is a kind of a solemn occasion to be actually doing this, but I felt this was necessary to bring to the family since I no longer do as much traveling as I do. And I am going to dedicate this particular moment, this particular time to our beloved brother who has just taken wings and joined our ancestors, Dr. Laila Africa. I'm going to dedicate this particular I guess what we call a gathering of the masters to him and all the work that he has done to uplift our people I wanted to start off with a little bit of brightness. The reason why I placed this on there to let everyone know that everything is about life. And at this particular time, they're trying to overload our consciousness with pictures of death. And as you will see, fear is the only pandemic there is that actually catches on.
That's deep, brother.
Yes. And so let's go forward here. And I just want to, for my beloved wife and myself, to send greetings out to the family. We essentially are here for you. And we've been here for you for nearly 40 years. And we are still happy to be in this particular battle with you, to weather storms with you. Now, I wanted to start off with something that my wife sent to me. I think we should at least keep the levity in this particular exploration of information. Dear shoppers, due to the recent outbreak of stupidity and panic purchasing by complete idiots, the nation is currently experiencing a shortage of toilet paper and common sense.
Oh, man. Toilet paper.
Could you imagine? I expect supplies to be replenished once these sheep-minded morons have all starved to death in their homes, surrounded by toilet paper without anything to eat. There were actually people that I've seen on camera fighting over toilet paper.
Yeah.
With food and water stacked in the aisle. Incredible. I would think that these people were much too constipated who shopped in those places to be even worried about toilet paper. But anyway, as we move forward, hopefully it did bring a little smile to your face, because I could see that certain faces are going to be kind of appalled or kind of be dropping. But here, let's start off with this. Over the last year and a half, I did at least 3 webinars. These 3 webinars were actually to predate what we're experiencing right now. And those of you who actually participated in that would have seen that all of what it is you needed to do to prepare for just this time frame was in the first one, was the hyperdimensional warfare, which ran down all the ways that you could stack the necessary ingredients and accoutrements to weather certain storms such as this. Our second one had to do with the metaphor parallax and dealing with the adrenochrome, which we'll cover shortly in this one. And of course, the last one was Redcon 2020, where we spoke of the coming crash. And what I've done is taken a little piece of each of those webinars and did a kind of very quick, took me a couple of hours, and did a very quick mosaic to bring to you to hopefully allay your fears and to help you to feel a lot better about this moment. I know that most people are not working and they're worried, they're feeling fearful. And that's exactly what it is that those who are orchestrating this show wants us to feel. That way, we're more malleable, we're more easily manipulable. And so what I want to do is to encourage you, to empower you with knowledge based upon what it is that I've researched, not only over this few weeks and this few months, but over the few years that led up to this particular moment. Now, not everything that I'm going to say is based what may be in truth. It is essentially conjecture based upon critical analysis of the direction. So those of you who are my students, hear me speak about synthetic synchronicities. And synthetic synchronicities means who is orchestrating or what is orchestrating my perception to make me believe that something that I am witnessing is a real event rather than an orchestrated event, an organic event rather than an orchestrated event. So in looking at those dynamics and kind of putting 2 and 2 together, I've come up with the following. Now, understand that before I even get into what this whole circus is about, I wanted to put down some things so that you can immediately get busy on helping yourselves. And there's some natural countermeasures that my beloved wife, Dr. Nalani, and I have been teaching people, as well as our beloved brother, Dr. Alaila Africa, Rita Fua, all of the Dr. Love, and all that. I'm just calling the circle of people that I am aware of that has been on the journey with me for the longest period of time. So we are there, and I know, to help and to allay fears. Because if you understood the nature of what a virus really is and what it is that it is comprised of, you'd have to understand that a virus cannot cause anything. A virus is an effect. And if that effect, which is waste matter, accumulates based upon the fact that you are doing the wrong thing, then of course, what seems to be the virus causing something is actually you not doing the right thing in order to give your body the strength to eliminate that waste matter that they call viruses. So in natural countermeasures, we want to address something that we can deal with immediately, something that's right there in our homes. And I know that you have been on Facebook and so many other threads that have been putting information out there, good information. And we just want to give our own, I guess, 3 cents to this situation. So I have a number of things that we have put together for you. Take a minimum of about 1 to 2 minutes to wash hands and arms, especially those that have been exposed. This essentially is suggested by the CDC. However, I personally caution over doing anything this radical, especially since your body contains billions of helpful, beneficial bacteria that may be destroyed by such action. So if you overdo anything, I mean, if you're washing and you're looking, you're walking around in a plastic bag, pretty much like, people who are actually germophobic, you're actually going to find yourself very uncomfortable. And you may end up doing number 2, which is antibacterial soaps. You start bringing all kinds of antibacterial materials into your home and starting to use them. But know that your skin is permeable. So antibacterial soaps and agents not only affect you on your skin, but penetrate the skin as well. These ingredients can enter the bloodstream and possibly cross the blood-brain barrier, causing dysfunctions in the endocrine system, acting as what are known as endocrine disruptors. 3. Now, endocrine disruptors are what actually causes the destruction of, mostly in males, the destruction of testosterone, which you see actually happening in really epidemic numbers today. Heat is the best agent against foreign pathogens that enter the lungs. So when possible, get out in the sun. Now, we're going into the springtime, and this is the time when I know that you're saying that outside is poisonous, putting all kind of crap in the air. And there are times when that does not really occur. And I know everybody today, we're not going to work anymore, but the best time to actually go out and actually get the healing rays of the sun is before noon, before, cars and different things. The activity of the day begins to cause the day to get warmer and more pollution to get into the atmosphere. So in the morning time, I would suggest that if you get up around 8 or 9 in the morning and you can catch that sun, the sun is our friend. Our melanin craves it. We require it. And the darker you are, the more sun you need. Saunas are excellent because of the heat. Again, when you're in the sauna, make sure that you're in there with proper the area that you're in is properly disinfected, and also that when you're using the heated or the water, make sure that the water is distilled, because you don't want any kind of polluted water turning into steam. That means you'll be taking in all of the ingredients that are in that water, fluoride, chlorine, and so forth. Number 5, hot distilled water with lemon or lime mixed with kyolic garlic. That used to be a favorite of ours back in the day. Number 6, therapeutic grade essential oils. My wife, Dr. Nolani, has a book called 7 Steps to Healing and Wellness. And in it, she has some incredible methods to help you to assist in the body's healing. Remember, we don't want to interfere with the healing processes of the body. We just want to assist. And one of the best ways to assist is through the therapeutic grade essential oils. And for this particular situation we're dealing with, as far as the flu is concerned, frankincense, rosemary, oregano, ginger, eucalyptus oil. And we caution the use of eucalyptus oil because if you do have an epileptic condition, eucalyptus is not good for you. Okay? Peppermint, spearmint, clove, lavender, orange oil. Oils, and these oils are best used in a diffuser. It doesn't need to be in the diffuser yourself. You can actually put it into your bath, or as we say in the old-fashioned way, as we're going to get into, I'll show you another way of doing it. Garlic oil, which is excellent, and I suggest at this particular time that you warm it and put it into the sublingular under your tongue or in your ear. You can drink it as a tea. The 4 to 7 drops in your ear. Most people don't know that the air actually creates the wax, and then the wax is then pushed out so that you can clean it or take the extra amount out of your ear. But people don't realize that sometimes when we are bathing, or if we're in a place where we are in, say, in a pool or whatever it is, if water gets into the air and if there are any kind of bacilli or any kind of materials that's there, they get into and are trapped in the wax. And so a good way to do that is for you to do some funneling, or if you can, with the air wax, or you deal with some air candling, and that helps to remove the bacillus or materials that would cause the sinuses, because inside of there, remember your ears, the kidneys empty out at the ears. So if you have kidney conditions and you have different types of materials in your ear that are attracting fungus and so forth, you want to make sure that you're cleaning that out. And one good way of killing those germs is to take warm garlic oil and place 4 drops in there. And then you can, anybody who knows how to do, you can actually go up online and learn how to do air candling. Now, number 8, warm distilled water, about 8 ounces, with a 1/4 cup of organic apple cider vinegar with lemon. This is a good way of actually clearing the palate, especially if there are any kind of the mucus in the throat. It helps to bring the mucus that is there in the esophageal regions and in the bronchioles up so that you can expectorate. Know that the fact that your body creates mucus, that's been the attack. When they wanted to attack you with the so-called coronavirus, they first had to, before that, weaponize certain chemicals that they dropped from the air or they sprayed from these so-called street cleaners that actually had all these toxic chemicals that you were breathing in. And what that did was diminish your defensive system. So the mucous membranes are what they attack, especially when they give you the vaccination. Vaccinations goes past your protection in your skin and right through your mucous membranes into the bloodstream, which mucous membranes would never allow that filth that deeply into the inner interstitial tissues. Vitamin C, of course, organic, liquid, or crystal. Do not overdo the dosage because the body does not need that much, unless if you're going for chelation, remove heavy metals, or you're taking it intravenously. That's a kind of a radical way. But if you look at the amount of vitamin C that's actually in an orange, it's very low. Okay? Zinc, you take it in liquid or lozenge. Going to the old school, the way that my grandmother and my grandfather used to deal with these colds, boil a medium to large pot of distilled water with ginger, add 3 to 4 drops of peppermint essential oil with 3 drops of garlic oil, place a clean towel over your head, then face over the steaming pot, Inhale slowly and cautiously at first to acclimate the sinuses to the heat. Adverse pathogens are highly susceptible to high heat in the lungs, which is why the body initiates a fever to fight them. The fever then creates interferon, which then interferes with all of the materials that are causing the problem in the body in the first place. So here you have essentially certain things you can actually use immediately. I would suggest for those of you who are suffering, especially with your sinuses, and you can actually feel it in your chest, that if there are any bacillus in there because the mucus is trapped, and therefore bacilli are trapped in that mucus, and they're causing an agitation, causing you to, and you get that dry cough, then your body is trying to expectorate what the mucus is trapped. That's where the cough is coming from, okay? So what you want to do is to help the mucus to come forward, and therefore a lot of what we have done, what I've given to you, will help in that process. Let's go to the next. Now, as far as fevers are concerned, a lot of parents call me and my wife about fevers, especially when it comes to infants and toddlers. In babies and children, be very careful about babies and children. The average body temperature ranges from 97.9 degrees to 99 degrees Fahrenheit in babies and children. Among young to average adults, body temperature ranges from 97 degrees to 99 degrees Fahrenheit. In elder adults, the average body temperature is lower than 98.6 because the body is not as active, the blood is slowed, there's not a lot of oxygen that is moving through the system. And so our temperatures, as we grow older, tend to become lesser. So those who are in the field, doctors know that if they're reading, say, 97 or 96.8 or something in an elder that is 75 or over, then they understand. Unless that elder, of course, is very, very active, they're really into their health, then of course their bloodstream would be pumping, their heart would be slower, but their bloodstream would be more, the blood vessels would be much, much stronger and much wider. Okay? Now, note this is very important to you parents, especially to the parents of young infants and young toddlers. If the number on the baby thermometer should rise above the temperatures noted above, do not attempt to bring the temperature down with baby aspirin or other salicylate-based medication. Instead, draw a bath whose temperature is slightly lower than the fever, adding a capful of organic vinegar, lavender, or spearmint to the water. A cool wash rag, refrigerated slightly, or with cool water on the forehead and the back of the neck works. And of course, I may be talking to the choir, but I feel it's necessary for those who may really want to have substantial information of what it is that they could do proactively. A lot of times when people get ill, they tend to feel like victims. Oh, I'm sick and I'm this and that. They don't feel that and of course the feeling makes them feel like they don't want to do anything. But to take a proactive stance in your healing, it empowers you. To know what to do empowers you, even in the suffering, even when you're bent over, even when your head is splitting. Know that your body is telling you something. It's speaking to you and telling you, here's what you need to do. And studying what you have to do in order to answer the call of your body during these times is what allows you to suffer correctly. That's a word, a Greek word called orthopathy, that we learn in our naturopathic school. Orthopathy means correct suffering. We don't know how to suffer correctly, so we take all kind of junk to try to mitigate the symptoms. Meanwhile, the body's efforts at healing is the suffering. And so we have to come to that understanding to learn how to suffer correctly. Now, I don't mean that you're going to go through agony. You want to take that time so that you can help to naturally mitigate it by giving the body what it needs during that time of suffering so that you can rest, because rest and sleep is the #1 healer. Now here's the caution. Do not take ibuprofen or Advil if you experience symptoms, especially of this coronavirus. Along with aspirin, they are classified as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or NSAIDs. NSAIDs are in what they call the propionic acid group. NSAIDs work by slowing the formation of compounds known as prostaglandins. Prostaglandins play an important role in the body's inflammatory responses by keeping the blood vessels dilated. NSAIDs block an enzyme called cyclooxygenase, also known as COX. The COX enzyme helps produce prostaglandins. Blocking COX also interferes with the blood platelets, cells in the blood involved in clotting. This came off of the medical public web. It says drugs in the propionic acid group have produced metabolic acidosis, listen carefully, respiratory depression. They've been giving people for their pain ibuprofen and Advil for the headaches. And we don't know how many of these people who have been dying from the so-called coronavirus have been given all these wrong medications. Now, here are some of the NSAIDs off to the left. These are included, and if you are taking any of these and you are experiencing any of the symptoms, please look and see whether or not your NSAID is here. Oxyprozin, etodolac, what is that? Etodolac, endomethacin, naproxen, nabumetone, diclofenac, Vimovo. I mean, who sits in these offices and thinks up these names? Just to mess with you so that only the doctors know what the heck you're talking about. So know that these things actually cause respiratory depressions because that particular material, the prostaglandins that allow for blood flow, especially oxygen that is so needed, and you can hardly breathe, you can hardly get any oxygen into your lung. If you're taking any of these NSAIDs, it is shutting down or constricting the blood vessel so that you can't get that necessary and very vital oxygen areas of your body. And you wonder, maybe these people are dying from the actual cure. Also, another caution, these NSAIDs increase the risk of heart failure. They give gastrointestinal damage, ulcers, and internal bleeding, high risk of renal, which is kidney failure, serious allergic conditions, which is something that is now enhanced by people who have the corona or any kind of flu condition. It's a serious danger, these NSAIDs, to children and teenagers, especially teenagers who are vaping. A lot of the teenagers who are coming down, we found, with the coronavirus, and because it affects the lungs, the vaping, which is concentrated nicotine, which is a very, very volatile toxin. The body has, the lungs of people who are chronic vaporers have compressed and what looks like dried out bronchioles, because the bronchioles are doing their best to stop that toxin from getting in at that concentrated level in the lung. But of course, you can't tell anyone that, and they would say that I'm, practicing